Oba dove into the river of the dead to save his lover Ada. But when he pulled her back into the world of the living, he didn't realize she brought something else with her. Something ancient. Something hungry. The festival drums had barely faded when the river of the dead began to glow. Oba and Ada walked side by side beneath the moonlight, laughing about how the masqueraders kept stumbling over their own oversized masks. The night was warm, gentle until Ada stopped walking. "Oba, do you hear that?" she whispered. He heard only silence. But Ada stared at the river with wide, frightened eyes. The water shimmered with an eerie blue light, and the reeds along the bank rustled although there was no wind. Then a whisper drifted from the river, faint, like a voice speaking from behind a closed door. It called Ada's name. Before Oba could react, Ada stepped toward the water. Her movements were slow, dreamlike, as though pulled by invisible strings. Oba grabbed her wrist. "Ada, stop." But the river surged suddenly, silent, fast, and impossibly smooth. A glowing tendril wrapped around her legs, and in a flash of blue light, the river swallowed her whole. No splash. No scream. Only silence. Oba screamed her name into the night. At dawn, on the empty riverbank, he found her beaded bracelet still warm. The villagers refused to help him. "The river of the dead takes who it chooses," they said, stepping away from him as though grief were contagious. Even the chief avoided his gaze. So Oba walked into the forest to find Iyabo, the priestess who had been exiled years ago for knowing too much. Her hut looked like it had grown out of the earth itself, its walls covered in bones, dried leaves, and charms of river mud. Iyabo listened silently as he told her everything. "You are a fool," she muttered at last. "But a loyal one." She informed him that Ada had been taken by the caller, a spirit older than the kingdom itself. A being who collects souls whose destinies are unfinished. "No living person can step into the river and return," Iyabo warned. She reached behind her and retrieved a calabash filled with black liquid. "Drink this only when the river glows again. You will cross, but you will not come back unchanged." Oba reached for the calabash, but she did not release it. "Remember this," she whispered, eyes dark as storm clouds. "You may return with Ada, but something else may return with you." That night, the river glowed once more brighter, pulsing like the heart of a sleeping giant. Oba drank Iyabo's potion. The world tilted, bending like hot air above a fire. He staggered into the water. The river seized him, pulling him downward in a violent spiral. His breath failed. His vision split into fragments, his mother's face, Ada's laughter, hunters calling his name, and images he did not recognize, ancient battles, faceless spirits, a masked figure watching him. Then suddenly, stillness. Oba stood in a forest of ghostly trees, their branches glowing faintly. Pale fireflies drifted between the roots. Strange shapes moved in the distance, whispering in languages long dead. He wasn't alone. Children with chalk-white skin and hollow eyes emerged from behind a tree. They circled him slowly. "Why have you come, living one?" one asked. "The caller already knows you are here," said another. And the fireflies dimmed all at once. The ghost children led him through twisting paths to a cavern filled with drifting spirits. They moved like smoke, swaying to a rhythm beyond mortal hearing. Then Oba saw her. Ada stood among the spirits, pale, flickering like a flame in wind. When he ran to her, she stepped back in confusion. "Who are?" Oba held out her bracelet. Her memory snapped back like a breaking rope. "Oba, you came." He embraced her, but her body felt weightless, as though she existed only halfway. "We must go," Ada whispered. "He's looking for us." "Who?" Her voice trembled. "The caller." The cavern rumbled. A shadow swelled across the walls. The spirits began to scatter in terror. "He's here," Ada breathed. The caller emerged tall, faceless, wearing a mask of wet clay carved with spirals. His presence sucked the warmth from the air. "You break the rules of life and death," he said. His voice was everywhere, inside stone, inside Oba's bones, inside Ada's trembling breath. The caller explained that Ada had been chosen to become a guide, one who leads the dead across the river. "Her task is sacred. You interrupt fate." He extended a long, dripping hand. Leave her. Return alone, and live. Oba stepped in front of Ada. I will never leave her. Silence. Then the mask twisted eerily into what might have been a smile. So be it. He vanished instantly. Oba grabbed Ada's hand. They ran. But as they fled, Ada whispered, trembling, he let us go too easily. Why? Behind them, the river echoed with laughter. They reached the boundary pool, a swirling mirror of silver water. The ancestors who guarded it stepped forward, their glowing forms stern. No spirit claimed by the caller may return, one thundered. Another pointed at Ada. She carries his mark. Let us through. Oba pleaded. Please. The ancestors refused. Suddenly Ada cried out. A shockwave burst from her, making the very water bend outward like a curtain pulled aside. Even the ancestors stumbled back in horror. Child, one whispered. What followed you? The path home glimmered before them, but Oba saw terror in the eyes of even the ancient guardians. They stepped into the light. And crossed back. The sky in the living world was dim, as if clouds hid the sun even on clear days. Birds avoided Ada, circling wide around her. Children cried when she passed. Inside Iabo's hut, Ada shivered uncontrollably, coughing out mouthfuls of river water. She needs a spirit reading, Iabo said grimly. Hold her down. Symbols glowed on the floor as Iabo chanted. Ada convulsed violently. When the ritual ended, Iabo stared at Oba with sheer dread. Oba, she has two shadows. One is hers. The other is not. Ada fainted. Outside, the wind howled like a mourning woman. Ada awoke screaming. Her eyes were black, not dark, but black like the river's deepest pit. Iabo threw powder into the air and chanted. Ada's shadow split briefly, a second one, long and thin, clinging to her feet like oil. The caller hid a fragment of himself in her, Iabo said. It grows stronger each time she feels fear, or love. Ada sobbed. Oba. I remember something. The night I died, someone pushed me toward the river. Oba froze. Who? Before she could answer, wet footprints appeared just outside Iabo's hut, leading toward the village. Iabo whispered, something else came through the rift. Oba followed the wet footprints, his heart pounding. They led to his family compound. His mother knelt inside, weeping. I did it, she confessed. I pushed Ada, but not to kill her. She knew something she shouldn't have known. Something about our bloodline. What are you talking about? Oba demanded. Your line is bound to prophecy, she whispered. A prophecy the caller has tried to prevent for centuries. He doesn't take the dead, he replaces them. He enters the living world through chosen vessels. Oba felt his knees weaken. Ada had been chosen, because of him. Before he could speak, the ground trembled. The river surged in the distance. Screams filled the air. Through the village gate walked a tall figure made of mist and clay. The caller had come. The caller approached, mask gleaming with river light. I did not chase you, he said calmly. I waited. You brought my vessel back to me. Ada collapsed, half possessed, her voice layered with the caller's whisper. Oba, run. Oba stepped forward. Take me instead. Leave her. The caller considered him. Ah. The price I promised. Paid willingly. He reached toward Oba. But Ada, gathering the last of her guide powers, rose to her feet. A blazing crack formed behind her, a rift leading back to the realm of the dead. No, she said. You will not take him. With a cry that shook both worlds, Ada separated her spirit self from the fragment inside her. The spirit Ada grabbed the caller, dragging him toward the rift. He screamed, mask cracking, river water pouring out of him. The rift snapped shut. Ada collapsed. Oba rushed to her side. She breathed, barely. Then he saw it. Her shadow moved a full second after her body did. A soft whisper drifted through the air. Not all who return, return alone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, comment what you learned from the story. Like, share and follow.